Good morning, thriving warriors and those who wish they were. Do that. Once again, lighting problems, people, lighting problems. Okay. Oops, running a little bit late today. Got a bunch of stuff happening. Got to do this the right way. There it is. Alexa. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:29 a.m. Have a good morning, Edward.
And Alexa, what is the date?
It's Thursday, September 29th.
And Alexa, what is the weather forecast?
In Amargosa Valley, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies. Today, you can look for mostly sunny weather with a high of 93 degrees and a low of 60 degrees.
Great. Okay, here we are at Career Services, where our goal is to help you get from where you are to someplace better, from point A to point B, where B is better. We do that several ways. One is this podcast, which has contained in it down below. Look at the notes down below. Please subscribe, click on the bell, etc. Our online teachable course, our 4-week basic training course, a link to the video that I use to come up with ideas for the talk. Today's talk is It's Simple, Fall Forward. Simple, Fall Forward. So the video that goes with that, there's a link to the video that goes with our correspondence, or our basic training course. There's a whole bunch of other stuff talking about things that we do, providing food, clothing, housing, job skills, training, foundational employment, career services, all kinds of things, and also a message from Seth Godin, actually his blog post. So we do that. We're also available by phone. As I said, we provide housing, clothing, food, support, all kinds of things like that. Good morning, Jeff. I see you're there. And so that's how we help you get from point A to point B. You just have to do the work. We use this podcast as like a little, it's breadcrumbs, bleep, 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 that are easy to follow. What we want you to do is, when you are driving in your car, you're riding on the bus, you have a break, study, learn. Okay, cool. Let's talk about the TED Talk first. Today it's David Phillips talking about functional storytelling. So far this week, under the topic of how do we get people in the car? How do we, that's the metaphor. It's now we need to get to Successville. To become successful, to get to Successville, we need other people to help us. And the metaphor is getting them in our car. We need to get them in the car with us. How do we get them in the car? So we heard David Logan say what? Join tribe, nudge forward. Join an existing tribe, nudge it forward. Seth Godin gave us the 4-step recipe on how do we nudge forward. Find something to change, tell a compelling story, connect the true believers, and as part of that, ignore the non-true believers, and then lead them. We found out the hard part on that was step 2, telling a compelling story. Yesterday, Simon Sinek, we learned how to tell a compelling story, which is it's about why we need to change the status quo, not about what we're going to change, not about how we're going to change it. And the reason is the way our brain is designed. All of our decisions are based upon our feelings. We just use our thoughts to rationalize how we feel. We've been conditioned to think it's about what we think, but really it's about what we feel. That's why we say things like, it just doesn't feel right. Good morning, Diana. It just doesn't feel right. That's why we say things like that, because it's our feelings. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Okay, we're now 5:11 into it. And then today is David Phillips, who's going to talk about functional story, telling. And for our purposes, that's the story before the story. That's the thing to start the bonding. Because remember the elegant axiom, bond, add value, and then ask. That's how you get people to do what you want in a positive way. Bond with them, get them to see the world literally the way you see it. Generally, that's a positive thing, but you can get people to see the world the way you see it in a negative way. That's what conspiracy theory people try to do, is they want you to see the world the way they do, that it's all bad, there's a conspiracy, we're victims, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Use it for the positive. It's like use a hammer to make things, not break things. So the David Phillips is up here at the bonding part, the story before the story, and you'll find out there are 4 parts to functional storytelling. One is to know everybody is a good storyteller. Everybody can be a good storyteller. Next thing, write down your stories. Write down your stories, because the stories become better, you remember them better, you're better at telling them. Then match the story with the neurotransmitter you want to release. So he talked about endorphins, he talked about oxytocin, he talked about dopamine, he talked about cortisol, the ones that Simon Sinek talked about last week, or 3 of the 5 at least that he talked about last week. He didn't talk about serotonin. Maybe he did. No, he didn't. Anyway, you figure out here's the story, here's the neurotransmitter I want to release. And then 4, figure out based upon what's going to be happening, what kind of meeting you're in, what is the neurotransmitter you want to release in people, and then match it to the story. Boom, bonding. Simon Sinek does that on all of his when he talks about army people, military people. That has nothing to do with this point. It all has 100% to do with bonding, getting the audience to see the world the way he sees it. That is our TED Talk portion for today. Our motivational video part for today, it's simple, fall forward. Fall forward. Don't fall back. Don't be afraid to fail. But if you fail, use it as not fail. I don't like the term fail. Setback. You only fail, you should have the belief you only fail when you quit. It's like playing baseball. You don't fail when you lose a game. You lost that game because, as Jordan Peterson says, life is a series of games. You want to win the series of games, you have to expect and accept that you will lose some games. You have to learn to be a good loser, meaning you don't quit just because you lost. You don't let that loss define you. It's a series of games. And if you're always winning, that means you're not playing against worthy competitors. You learn when you lose. You should learn when you lose. So fall forward. Take it as a learning experience. Setbacks are learning experiences. You only fail when you quit. Also, another great thing is called the law of practice. Whatever you practice, you get good at. You practice being lazy, you get good at being lazy. You practice not taking care of your health, you get good at not taking care of your health. And then you look like somebody who you really aren't happy with as you get older. You don't age well. You're not lean and mean. You're not that. You're something else. So the law of practice. You want to practice not exercising. Good. You're going to get good at that. Not good. That's bad, but you're going to get good at it. It's the law of practice, and it applies to good or bad. It's just what it is. Okay. And then lastly, have a dream. So we talked about that. Have a dream and get that not everybody's going to see your dream. That's and the message is that's okay, because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. It's your dream. Don't expect everybody to see your dream, but don't give up on your dream. Forgot to say, make sure you have a pen, paper handy so you can write your notes on it. Let's see what Seth Godin has to say. Boom. He's talking about extensions and souvenirs. When a brand is successful, there's often a desire to extend it. Right. Think about soft drinks. Think about Coca-Cola, all the different flavors now. Disneyland was an extension of Disney movies. It reflected some of the magic of the movies, but created something new and valuable as well. Disneyland had some of the Disney essence and then built something additive and new. Correct. Apple did the same thing with the iPhone in extending the brand of the Mac. On the other hand, the new Leica watch is simply a souvenir. It's not a better watch. It's not more of a Leica than any of a dozen other overpriced watches could be seen to be. It's simply there to remind you you like the original. It's a souvenir of a feeling, not the creator. Nothing wrong with a souvenir. I'm sure Leica will make a profit from their watch with little damage to the promise that the brand itself makes. But make too many souvenirs and you become a hollow shell, wasting the chance to make the change you seek. This crappy t-shirt you bought at your favorite musician's concert is a souvenir, but they couldn't count on that as their legacy or engine of their growth. All day, individual creators have to make choices about what they're going to do next. Sometimes we can create an extension and sometimes we decide to make a souvenir instead. Can that be applied to your life? Yes. Is it an extension? Is it something new? I'm this and this, or is this just a repeat of that? Okay? Cool, great, groovy. Let's now go to bingo, bango, bongo. Our now 7th step process, but it's really one thing. It's just, aha, is it the extension or is it a souvenir of the Navy SEAL maxim? Maybe, I don't know. Let's think about that. Is it an extension? Okay, Navy SEAL maxim. This is the fundamental premise that we operate on. Yesterday was the only easy day. Yesterday was the only easy day. I think I'm going to put that on the wall right there. Bing. Okay, yesterday was the only easy day. That means we're going to try to do something harder, be something more, produce something better, more, etc. An extension of that, not a souvenir of yesterday, an extension of yesterday. We're going to try to do that today. Ah, cool, great. How do I do that? Well, one thing is to get uncomfortable being uncomfortable. Don't always look for the way to be comfortable. So a subset of that would be, how do I get comfortable being uncomfortable? I can't enjoy the suck. God, this sucks, but I love it. There's a billion people that would love to be doing what I'm doing right now. Or this is way better than, I would rather be doing this than I was doing when my life really sucked. So embrace the suck. Okay, another way to make yesterday the only easy day was to compare myself today to yesterday. And I can do this through a daily examine of where did I fall short? Where did I miss the mark yesterday? And just try to improve on that. I don't have to try to be better. I can just try to remove the not good things. Okay, so that's now 4 things. Another way I can make yesterday the only easy day was to choose the hard path. Choose the hard path. I always have choices in life. This could really be a subset of get comfortable being uncomfortable. How do I get comfortable being uncomfortable? I choose the hard path. I choose to have humility rather than my ego leading. I choose to work hard. I choose to take ownership of the things I do when I fall short. I choose to take responsibility for my actions. I choose to have discipline, which is to, for our purposes right now, we can say that discipline is continuing to do things. Okay, and graduation from community court. Oh, good. Okay, so Diana's going to send some pictures. I will post those. I can choose to have discipline, which means for our purposes right now, continuing to do things despite the fact that we don't really feel like it. and I can choose to sacrifice. And the best sacrifice, the easiest sacrifice, the most meaningful sacrifice is to sacrifice your time to help other people. I can do that. And finally, have a goal. Have a goal. Now, that would not be how to make yesterday the only easy day, but I got to start with I have to have a goal. And finally, be more samurai. That's how I can make yesterday the only easy day. So with that, I will say what, Diana? What can I say? What should I say now? Cut. Stephen, wait. Which I leave to Montana tomorrow for work. What? I need to know more about that, Diana. So how about calling me after 8 o'clock? I have stuff to do before then. Okay, and with that, thank you and cut. Cut and cut.